Uh,
It's really hard not to react to it.
yeah. So for all of you at home, Zoom now has this very robotic voice that comes on and tells you that it's recording. So those weird faces you just saw both of your professors making was because of that. Even though we told ourselves. Yeah,
we just had to update Zoom, and now we get the fun stuff.
And we just told ourselves we weren't going to react to it, and we still had a what?
Well, this is an introduction video, so I feel like we need to be as honest and authentic as possible.
They might as well know what they've gotten themselves into.
It's zany in here, guys. So, hey, how's it going? I am Professor McIntosh.
I was going to say, and I am Professor Cole.
And this is our introduction to both of us, as well as this English 201 online course. Do you want to like actually do any of those dumb introduction things that instructors do sometimes?
Like what?
I don't know, telling weird fun facts about yourself. Like students get subjected to that a lot. I feel like instructors should have to do it too, you know?
I mean, I don't know. There's the fact that we both have 5-year-olds that were born in the same month, in the same year.
Yep.
There's that weirdness.
Who are both now starting kindergarten.
Yeah.
And have started kindergarten, and we've been dealing with all of that during a pandemic yet again. Fun times.
Yeah.
So I guess we should probably tell you guys, like, as a result of this introduction that we just did, where both of us, for whatever reason, made life choices to where we were going to have children, and had children, as in a child each. No, we didn't talk it out. We didn't plan it, that it was going to happen this way. It just, something was in the water, I think.
There was something going on. Well, I was about to say in 2016, but I guess technically in 2015. On that particular hallway that our offices are in, because it wasn't just the two of us.
It was 3 English and an art who all decided, or who started families. Yeah. One of us, one of the English people had already had a family started. Yeah. But 3 out of the 4, 75% decided 2015.
Let's start.
That's a good time. Yeah. That's getting weird because it feels whatever. I'm just gonna. So, needless to say, this first week of classes, I just want to go ahead and do a disclaimer. We were joking about this yesterday during in-service, and then again earlier, that you're going to get recycled content from us this first week of classes, just because we've been dealing with a lot. Personally, as well as professionally, as well as, dang, Odom had no air conditioning yesterday, and I'm just still trying to recover from the sauna yesterday. I'm trying to do in-service. So don't judge us too harshly that we are idiots or incompetent, because we are. Yeah. But we're purposely recycling video lectures from last year. So don't think that we don't know that we did that. You're gonna get fresh content the rest of the time. But this.
And I guess I'll provide a little additional context to that before we sort of dive into the syllabus and all that.
Which is what we're actually here for.
Yeah. I'm sure you figured it out by now, but this course is fully online. And even if the pandemic were completely gone and Bethel were completely 100% back to normal, we would be offering this online for a couple of reasons. One is that the last few semesters have sort of proven to us that this is a course that really can be offered online, whereas for decades before, that just hadn't been tried. And
no, so I think it means that we're just really good at it.
Yeah,
we're really good at teaching it online.
And we thought, well, having one online option, although there's still, all 4 of them are still online, but if circumstances had been different, having at least one would be good. But then also what we were just talking about, the fact that we both have 5-year-olds who have just started kindergarten, and the time slot that this class would have taken place in would have made us forever late in picking up our children on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
So
And I live
maybe,
in Jackson, so on a good day, it's an hour commute. So with the class getting out at like 2:45, my kid's school gets out at 3.
yeah,
So I have until 3:30 to pick them up. I would never make it,
no, yeah.
especially in that rural farm
You,
towns.
yeah, I was gonna say there would be a tractor. There'd be,
And I hit at least 3 school zones before I get to where I'm going. So yay.
but yeah, if you're not familiar with what you have signed on for,
It's
because all,
madness.
because
You signed
well,
on for madness.
the madness, but also what the course itself is.
The madness is the treat, y'all. Just saying.
Yeah, that's that you didn't know you were signing on for. But let's say you're in a situation where, yeah, I don't know, your I almost said supervisor, your advisor said, this is what's required, take this course, boom, and you have no idea what you're in. English 201, or Western Literature and the Arts 1, or what is often referred to as just Humanities 1, is kind of just a big, giant umbrella course. It's so big, it's why it's sort of team taught by 2 people like it is, where we are going to dive into the history of Western, specifically, art, literature, philosophy, music, theater, all of that stuff, from the very beginnings of when people first started making that stuff up to, in this particular class, up to the Middle Ages. So 1300s thereabout. And yeah, it's team taught. You have Professor McIntosh, who will be giving you pretty much all of your literature needs.
And a whole lot of philosophy sprinkled in.
Yeah, a little philosophy sprinkled in. And
what else am I responsible for?
the
dark humor. That's my task.
Yeah.
The cheerful nihilism. And
I was going to say
memes.
Yeah, memes. That's yes.
No.
I was going to say swearing, but that seems to be both of us.
Yeah, we're doing good so far.
Yeah, so far we haven't. Yeah, I don't know.
Nope, don't jinx it. Let's see how long we can do it.
And everything related to art, the arts, you'll get from me. I'm not quite
philosophy sprinkled in.
Yeah, a little philosophy sprinkled in. I'm not quite the meme master that Professor McIntosh is.
I've shared so many with you for you to use.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I use them, but am I the meme master? Would I ever?
They didn't know that until just now. They won't know. So let it go, man.
No, I have to bow before the superior, the spirit, knowledge, whatever.
No. The meme lord. I am the meme lord of this class.
Yeah.
You ready to get into it? Let's get into it. Are we going to read the whole syllabus this time? Can we not do that? They don't care.
I mean, you can probably just hit on the important stuff. Do you want me to pull it up now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. Well, here. So, well, first off, hopefully by now, well, if you're watching this, I have to imagine you've already joined the class in Google Classroom.
That was such an unnecessary.
Yeah. I was about to say, hopefully you have signed up for Google Classroom. If you're watching this, you're here. I sending those vibes into the ether to those who haven't signed up yet, I guess. Very soon, however, as you can see, if you click on classwork after August 16th, you'll be able to access the course syllabus that we're going over today here as well.
You'll actually receive this video
for a moment.
Okay, you'll receive this video before the class goes live, by the way. So we just wanted to make sure that you're seeing like an introduction and we're kind of giving you an overview over it. But don't be alarmed if you can't find the syllabus yet in the course. We have everything scheduled. We have the class built. It's just going to go live for you Monday morning at 8. So please don't email us, please, saying you can't find the syllabus, because I literally just said why. Okay. If you do send me an email, or Jason, we should be sending both of us emails, by the way, together. But if you do send us an email and say, hey, I can't find the syllabus, you're gonna get a snarky meme. That's my guarantee. Okay. And it's gonna make absolutely no sense to anyone but the two of us. And that's okay. So that's your warning. Don't do it. The syllabus will go live for you on the 16th. So Monday, whenever classes start at 8 o'clock. Okay. Speaking of which, if you need our emails, they're right there.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. So this course is taught by 2 professors, and exactly as Professor McIntosh said, if you need to email us about anything, please email both of us. For whatever reason, a lot of students will only email one or the other, and then it just makes an extra step that when one of us replies, we need to also then carbon copy the other person, so that we keep each other in the loop. Emailing both of us it's gonna, you increase the chances that one of the 2 of us will see your email, and it cuts down on any sort of having to have cross conversations as well.
I was gonna say, you're increasing your odds when you send it to both of us. Jason and I have 2 similar schedules, but we're also on completely different schedules. So the odds are, if it's like on a weekend or something, you know, like, we're not guaranteeing that we're available to answer student emails all the time. But, you know, if I'm playing around on TikTok at 1 o'clock in the morning, which is not a joke, that actually is legit, because I make bad life choices. Or if I'm doom scrolling and I happen to be on my phone, guess what? I might respond at 3 o'clock in the morning. And Jason probably will not. But if it's at butt crack 30 in the morning, there's a good chance I won't be up. I won't, but Jason could be.
But I might be.
You know,
yeah.
I'm just saying, you should put both of us in there, okay?
And so you have, for each of us, our email addresses. Well, I guess, nope, stop, go away. All I was trying to do was highlight it, which I can't do for some reason because it's a link, I guess. You have mine here, colej@bethelu.edu, McIntosh s@bethelu.edu. And for each of us, you have our offices, our office numbers, and our office hours. I can only speak for myself. I plan to have my office hours in person, but I will have my door shut. So if you're coming by in person during these hours, please knock. But I will also, even though I will be there physically, I will also be keeping digital office hours. And so if you contact me to make an appointment for a Zoom conference or some other means of contacting one another over the internet, I have no problem with doing that either. But during these specific times.
For me, I'll leave my door ajar. All of my office hours are going to be in person unless I contact you guys in advance, like if something happens, which I am good about communicating. But my office hours, they're also going to be in person. But I would like to point out, I do not have office hours on Tuesdays. I'm not on campus on Tuesdays. I'm not going to be available to help students except by appointment or at my discretion. And the reason why is, like, I have to deal with a 5-year-old. I'm also like dealing with a lot of classes, and then with this pandemic, and I'm the primary contact person in my family in case something were to happen to my kid. Like it's just, I'm taking Tuesdays to catch up on grading and whatever I got to do. So as Professor Cole said, if you would scroll down to the very, very bottom, Jason, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
So down here, we're putting this little thing in here, just giving you guys like, hey, if you want to just ask us a question, if you just want help or whatever, don't feel as if you have to come to our office. However, you're welcome to come. If my door is ajar, then that means I'm ready and I'm available to help students. If my door is closed, that means I'm maybe dealing with a student and I'm unavailable.
Yeah, I guess when
But
I said that my door would be closed, I guess what I should have said is I'll have it cracked. But I
right,
would still appreciate a knock before you just barge in.
just barge in.
Yeah.
With just because we could have something going on. We could be on the phone or something.
And I would like to have, to put on my mask real quickly.
Put on the
before we
mask.
walk in.
Both of us are requiring masks when you come to our office. So it's just a means of trying to protect our unvaccinated kids. We're not judging you based on any of those things. We got to do what we can for our kids. So both of us need you to wear your mask when you come to our office. However, if you don't want to wear a mask, if you just have a quick question or whatever, keep in mind, it doesn't take very long. You can send us an email, either one of us during the time. Some of our office hours overlap. Sometimes they don't. Just hit us up. Hey, I have a question about such and such. And if you just want it where it's one of us, that's fine. I'll create a Zoom meeting or Google Meet in like no time. It takes like maybe 2 minutes. When I'm in my office and when Jason's in his office, we're on our computer, we're doing things. Both of us have smartphones. So we get the alert that someone sends us an email. We're very good about responding to our email while we're in office hours. So keep that in mind. Zoom is a possibility. If you want to come visit in person, you're more than welcome. It's virtual option as well. I would like to also point out something for our sanity, that at the very bottom, we are guaranteeing that we will be available to answer student emails between 9 and 2 during the work week. So even on Tuesdays that I don't have office hours, I'm going to be answering student emails from 9 to 2. I just may not be like connected to my computer all the time. It's going to be through my phone, but from 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, both of us are available to answer emails. Outside of that, it's completely at our discretion. So if you're sending me a message at 4 o'clock, there's a good chance that I'm not in a rush to answer it because I just picked up my kid and I'd like to see this person.
Yeah.
I don't want to interact with them. If you're sending me an email at like 7 o'clock, there's a good chance that I'm not answering.
My child is now about to take dance lessons. So I might be sitting at some dance recital or something, and I won't be answering texts. I'll be watching my child flail like a fish on the stage.
Yeah, and we put it in here where it's like during the work week. So this also means like don't expect to send us an email on like Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning or something and get the same kind of immediate response. I am really good about answering my emails, even on the weekends, but it's at my discretion. It may be that I just tell you like, I don't know, but I'll look into it when I come on campus on Monday. Mm-hmm. Just because I remember what it was like to be a student when you try to get in contact with your instructors and they weren't available. Especially if you guys are having issues with some of the stuff relating to the class. So we're going to talk about that a little bit when you start encountering some of these troubleshooting issues or submission of work issues or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock at night. If you got to send an email, send an email. I'll just check it whenever I feel dandy. Usually if it happens on a Tuesday, it'll be Wednesday morning by no later than, or at the beginning of 9 a.m. Right. Yeah. And I'll respond. Sometimes I may get it earlier, sometimes whatever. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. It's not that we're being dismissive and we're being purposefully aloof. It's more like we're trying to establish, for lack of a better term, boundaries where our personal and professional lives can kind of have a little bit of a buffer. Now, again, Jason and I do violate that all the time. We may answer an email at like 3:30, but that's our choice. That maybe we can tell that it's a very pressing issue and you have a serious concern and we want to try and like lessen whatever anxiety or stress you may have. But if it's something, that we feel like it can keep, then yeah, we may respond at our next available time. Okay. Again, we want to help. It sounds like I'm being really dismissive of your feelings, though. Maybe, I don't know. We do this every time. It takes forever.
Yeah, no need to read through the course description or the goals, I think.
Let's get to the thing you guys care about. Do I need a book?
Yes, you do. There are 2 texts required for this class. One of which you need to either get from the bookstore or from whatever other vendor you use. The other is a compendium of literature that we want you to read that we are going to provide for you as a PDF.
Which literally says that there, where it says additional readings provided online as PDFs or URLs. So the one textbook you have to buy or acquire in whatever way you do that thing. Okay. We try to make it to where we give you as much information as possible to find it. So if you go up to the very top, Jason, that's what the textbook looks like. Literally, we gave you a picture in color so you can get an idea of what it looks like. All right. Now, if you click on these links, they're blue for a reason. I wonder what happens.
You have one here that will take you to the Amazon page selling the book. Where did my, there it is. The second one taking you to Chegg.
It didn't open up anything.
Huh?
It didn't open. It didn't take us to those places.
So, okay, I know why. Hang on. Let me stop my share because I just shared the PDF and I didn't share
like your whole screen.
Yeah. So we're going to share the entire screen. So when I clicked on this first one, it brought up this here, the Amazon page. And when I clicked on the second link, it brought us here to Chegg. If you are taking advantage of the Bethel University Barnes and Noble book rental thing where you receive your books on the first day, this is the book you'll receive. If you've opted out of that, here are a couple of options. Or if you want to use neither of those options, you do at least have the ISBN numbers here for searching and finding. Don't break the bank. You know, spend what you can afford to spend. This is a fairly new version, 2019. So I don't know how, well, 2019 is still a couple of years, so surely by now there have been some used copies out there. But, spend what you can afford. But you want to make sure you're getting the ones that are listed here with these, with one or the other of these ISBN numbers, because there are other versions of this out there, as we learned. In fact, we've stopped giving page numbers to read within it and have just been like, read this chapter. Because, yeah. And even then,
particularly these sections of this chapter.
Yeah. And even then it would be like chapter such and such, and here's the title of that chapter, because we learned that page numbers in our copy and page number in some other students' copies were not matching up.
I think we try to pick the one that was the least expensive, and for whatever reason, whether it was some kind of miscommunique with the textbook and the way it ordered it, it had two different versions that it ordered, and some students lucked out and got the version that we picked and the other classes picked, and then it became this other one. Like, we're not trying to make you guys spend a whole lot of money, and we did give you all this information too if you wanted to peruse through the internet to see if you could find it in other ways. Not that I would suggest or tell you that it's an option. I'm just telling you, like, we just tried to help you do this whatever way works best for you. If you were to want to go those free textbook sites to see if your book is there, like, I mean, I just feel like knowledge is power. I'm not telling you where to go, but I am giving you information that could help in that endeavor.
And speaking of free books and PDFs, so earlier when I pulled up this, you couldn't see it at all, I guess. So earlier I was talking about if you go to Google Classroom. So that whole time I was talking about Google Classroom earlier, you were just still seeing the PDF.
I was seeing the PDF.
Of course you were. I promise that we are very attuned to technology, but every now and then it still gives us a hiccup. So what I was saying earlier is if you click on classwork, the course syllabus that we're looking at today, you see it's not been published yet. It will be published, as will the literature book that we were just talking about. This is a PDF that we are providing you. It's huge because it's got all of the stuff that we want you to read for both this class and in 202.
No, that's incorrect.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, no, you're right. It still have a ton of stuff in it, but I forgot. This is only for 201.
This is only 201.
Yeah.
So any of the assigned literature that I give you guys, unless it's coming from another source, which I have been known to do to supplement or whatever, it'll be from that textbook, which we've included within published material. It says literature textbook. So you want to make sure that you're aware that there is a literature textbook. For some reason, students last semester weren't, I don't really understand it. Jason and I both can't quite figure it out, but it was like week 12 before people were like, where am I supposed to find these stories? And I'm like, in the PDF, and I pull it up, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know we have that. I was like, it's been there since the first day. Yeah. Wow.
And we are going to keep it. We are going to keep in, if you go to the classwork, if you leave the stream, go to classwork, we are going to leave the published material right at the top. As other things begin to pop up over the semester, that will always be right there at the top. And you'll be able to access this for the assignments that you'll need to read that are outside of the main textbook.
Will you go back to the classroom screen for just a second?
Stream?
Will you click on where it says required? The required textbook info?
Yes.
Again, because we're trying to make sure that you guys have access to the textbook or whatever, if something happens with one of those links in the PDF, because sure, if something happens and it's like not coming up with what you need to know, if you click on this link that I've included, which will again go live for you guys Monday, that takes you to the actual publisher website. So if you would click on that, please.
Yep.
It gives you all of the same information that we've given you. Okay, it gives you the person's names who are attributed to the text. It gives you the textbook. It gives you, this one says 2020, but I think it's just because that was when the ebook maybe has been updated. But if you click where it says ebook right there, it'll let you purchase it directly from the publisher. Notice it says it lets you have it for $38.99. I think that was cheaper than Chegg, but not as cheap as Amazon. And you can even sign in and access your book there if you don't want to have to download the book. Notice it says you can rent the textbook, just get it from the publisher for $37.99. Again, I am not in any way, shape, or form expecting you all to buy a really expensive textbook. We try to make it to where we made it as reasonable as possible. So just get your hands on the textbook. You need it from the very first day. So if you can't get your hands on it in person because you've opted out of the bookstore thing, that's fine. Keep in mind, we also gave you the publisher information. We also gave you Chegg, and we also gave you Amazon. Amazon does let you get an ebook, and I'm not sure, I think Chegg did too. So ebooks are fine. We don't care. Whatever works for you, we don't care. You just have to have this one book. The other one we give you. That was my spiel. Thank you so much.
All right. I don't think we want to worry about the objectives. We could at least sort of briefly talk about the calendar here, I would say. Let me zoom it out a bit.
So Jason, we will both be posting material on that first week because I have Mesopotamian literature and Egyptian literature. Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
No judgments.
I guess I had forgotten that was the case.
No, that's okay. So this is the course calendar for the entire year. Notice that we've given it all to you, right? And whenever it says things like quizzes, that means that this first quiz is going to cover the material from week 1 and week 2. And that's it. Quiz 2 is going to only cover Greek philosophy, which, man, that quiz is a doozy. So we tried to make it not as heavy, but it's going to be heavy because it's philosophy.
Philosophy can get a little heavy. So we decided a quiz for just that by itself was probably.
And we did that because when it comes time to the exams, and we'll explain this a little bit more in depth, when it came time for exam time, students always failed the Greek philosophy questions on the exam because, yeah. So we try to make it to where we will give you the quiz, you take the quiz, we give you the answer key to the quiz, and that way it helps you guys study it. So we're trying to help out not just the quiz, but also the exams. But all of this stuff here on the right hand side, I'm using my cursor like it matters. The bold where it says quizzes, that is giving you an indication of what content that quiz will cover. So when there is a quiz that's only in 1 week, so like what you see with online week 3, that means that quiz 2 is only going to cover the content for that online week. Quiz 3 is going to cover 5 and 4. Exam 1, you will be the only thing you're responsible for that week. And exam 1 will cover all of the content from online weeks 1 through 5. Quizzes 1, 2, and 3. Notice the same goes whenever the exam is over, you'll deal with Romans, yada, yada, yada. So we've given you the entire course calendar. This could change. Hopefully it shouldn't, but weirder things have happened. Yeah.
But with this class being online, in the unfortunate event that Bethel University, not unlike the last time that the pandemic was as bad as it is currently, ends up having to go fully online, we're in pretty good shape there.
Yep.
If there's closure because of inclement weather, we're still in pretty good shape there. So this hopefully should not have to change unless there are unforeseen emergencies that affect our ability to get the material out to you guys.
We have sometimes like, oh, we maybe made a mistake or whatever, like, hey, we meant to have this with this, but we give you guys plenty of notice. We catch these things. We actually catch them pretty good. So we just want to point out one thing, or I mean, not me. Notice where it says fall break, October 7th through 11th. We don't have any assignments for you that week. Like those days, we're expecting you to kind of like try and enjoy. I think you're gonna have a quiz.
This quiz will overlap that, unfortunately.
We'll overlap that, but you could technically do it where you have the quizzes go live, and we'll explain that on a certain day. You could have that done, ready to go in no time, and that way you can enjoy your fall break. We try and make it to where we're not overloading you guys with a lot of work, because we do know you guys have other classes, and this is a pretty interesting class to try and handle so independently. Thankfully, it is not one of those synchronous classes where you have to check in at a certain time every day. You do this at your own leisure. That's whatever works best.
What I was about to point out is, we are. Well, let me highlight a class that has a week rather than has a quiz on it. We're going to be doing this asynchronously, right? You don't have a specific time that you need to log in for anything. What we'll be doing is each week, at least the plan is, this is what we aim for, is that on Monday at 8 a.m., correct?
Yep. Every Monday.
Monday at 8 a.m., the material that you need for that week will be posted, whether it's coming from both of us or one or the other of us. You'll be given in my case, and also in the case of Professor McIntosh, oftentimes as well, a PDF of the slides that we may have gone over in our lecture, a video of the lecture itself, any other supplemental materials that maybe we have grabbed from other sources that we want you to see. And it is on you. That is your responsibility. Watch those things, read those things, do those things. If it's a week without a quiz, like week 1, that's all you're responsible for. If it's a week with a quiz, the way we have the quizzes happen is they will open up on the Thursday of the week, right?
Yep. Thursday of that week at noon, which is 12 p.m. That's midday. Yes. I'm using all 3 of those because students, I understand, because exhaustion, seem to think midnight and noon are 12 p.m. and 12 a, and that's not how that works. Midnight is technically 12 a,
Yeah.
Noon, midday is 12p. So you're going to see that repeated all the time. It's going to say noon, parenthesis, 12p, or 12p, parenthesis, noon. We're just trying to make sure that people aren't thinking midnight, because that's not it.
So the quiz will open up. It'll be done. Well, we'll talk about that more in depth as we get closer to the time, but it'll open up and you can take that quiz anywhere between the time it opens up on Thursday and when it closes Sunday night.
At
Also,
11
at 11
p.m. So midnight's not even a thing for us. Nothing is going to ever be due at midnight. We start the week at 8 o'clock in the morning and we end it at 11 p.m. or 2300 if you're on 24-hour time. And that's it. Like that's it. And then if you submit your work by that 11 p.m. deadline, then you can do whatever the heck you want between then and 8 o'clock in the morning the next day, which is Monday.
Exams, we'll talk about that more in depth as we get closer.
But there's your whole calendar. So technically you can make arrangements, do whatever you need to do. Yeah. We also include the final exam. It's going to be completely online and we're going to it's due by 12 p.m. on Thursday, December 7th or 2nd, excuse me. Yeah. When we get closer to the final exam, we will explain to you how that's going to go about. But I need you to listen to me here and now, please. The final exam is not a cumulative exam. It will only cover the course content from online weeks 12 through 15. It is not cumulative. I'm saying that today because when we start getting closer to the final exam, I'm going and Jason is going to probably get emails from students asking if it's cumulative. When that happens, not if, but when, you're getting a snarky meme because we addressed it here and now. I won't do it. So, it's not cumulative. It's only going to cover stuffs from online weeks 12 and 15. So we treat it like a regular exam. Okay. Whew, okay.
All right. How much of this do we want to dive into?
We already covered how the quizzes are going to work. They're going to be online. We're going to have multiple versions because students are interested in getting good grades and they collaborate when they should not, and yada, yada, yada.
That was short 10-question quizzes.
10-question multiple guess or choice, however you want to say it. And you get one makeup. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
If life happens and you just don't do the quiz, okay? I don't mean like you contact us. I mean like you just don't do it. You get one mulligan, man.
Yeah. Everybody's allowed one whoopsie.
Whoa!
But we do count.
Yeah, I keep track. Jason keeps track. And we will allow you to make up the quiz. It's fine. Whatever. After that, if you miss a quiz and you don't get in contact with us for whatever reason, you get zeros. It's important for you to know that we drop the lowest quiz score anyway. So although you're taking 8, we only actually use 7. And those are the best scores to determine your final grade calculation. So we determine what your average is out of those 7 and we convert it to like a 200-point scale. And that's that. So if you miss a quiz and you get a really good grade on it, great. And then you don't miss any more, we're just going to drop your lowest one that you earned. If you miss a quiz and you do really well and then you miss another one, that 0 is probably going to be the one that gets dropped. So you get one mulligan on quizzes. However, because this class is online and your instructors are aware of this thing called Murphy's Law, sometimes in the past we've had like extreme weather phenomenon that have knocked out power. And if you contact us before that 11 p.m. deadline when a quiz is due, then we will work with you regardless of whether you've missed a quiz or not. The big thing I need you to take away from this is we know shit happens. Dang, I did it just then. Sorry. We know that stuff happens. Okay. We will work with students, especially if it's technology failing on our end, because that's happened before too, where for some reason it just locked folks out and we don't really understand why or whatever. If weather phenomenon messes with your ability, we would like to tell you not to wait till the last minute to do the quiz, because that 11 p.m. deadline means it needs to be completed and submitted before 11.
Yeah.
At exactly 11, you could be actively engaged in it and haven't hit the submit button yet. It's going to lock you out and it's going to delete your response.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because a lot of students will confuse the fact that in Google Classroom, it will say that the quiz is due by 11 p.m. on a certain date, to mean at 11 p.m. on that date, that's when I should sit down and start working on it.
No.
By then, it's already too late.
It's already too late. So if you encounter one of those situations that's going to negatively affect your ability to submit your material on time, you need to contact us as soon as possible. Again, we may not be answering our email at 10 o'clock at night. That's fine. Unfortunately, we've had students get in car accidents, and we're unable to submit a quiz, and they'd already been given a chance to make up a quiz. Like, you communicate with us, we will work with you. I think that's the big takeaway here.
Because
You
even
just have to contact us.
if a situation happens beyond your control, and you contact us before, because what students seem to love to do is to wait until after that 11 o'clock deadline has passed, and then suddenly there's a bunch of midnight emails from students. But if you're contacting us before that quiz is due, explaining the situation, sure, you may not get a response from us right away. We may both have our whatever going on. You may have been in bed asleep by that point, who knows? But the fact that the timestamp on your email says you tried to get in touch with us before this was due, we're going to understand, okay, you were trying, and we'll be willing to work with you. Whereas if you're contacting us at midnight, like, hey, I've been trying.
I can't even get it to open for me. I clicked on it, and we're like, yeah, because you clicked on it after the time.
Yeah.
And you don't have to email us either. Within Google Classroom, on each individual assignment, if you haven't had to use Google Classroom before, there's an option for you to leave private comments in your assignment. Don't hit the class comment. Like, seriously, don't hit the class comment, because then everyone's going to know your business. Okay. Go to the individual assignment itself, and you can leave a private comment there. And as long as we know. Now, if stuff happens, guys, and you just like completely forget that there's a quiz due or something, like, that's not what we're talking about. That's a mulligan situation. But if there is an actual situation that is negatively affecting your ability, whether it be weather, whether it be like freaking COVID, whether it be health, whether it be travel, athletes in particular, you guys are trapped on these buses, and you're supposed to have access to internet, but yet all of you are trying to access your assignments using the limited bandwidth. If you're in one of the sports that has that bus with Wi-Fi, those of you guys who fish or are doing archery or doing shooting, that sounds weird. Shooting, whatever. If you're in one of those sports like that, sometimes you guys are like crammed in like pickles in a van, and you're down by the river, and there's no internet. So you can use your phone. We do not want you to use your internet data to do coursework. That's an expense that the school doesn't cover, and we would not want you to do that. You can open up a text message, just a blank text message, and put Jason's email and my email in the recipient part, like, so where you would normally put the phone number, and just say, hey, this is so and so, please tell us who you are, because otherwise it just tells us a phone number. And I have no idea. And I'm like, I don't know. But if you use a text message and put our email in, it comes to our inbox, and then we can reply in our inbox, and it goes right to your phone. So that's another one of those like immediate things that can help if you encounter one of these issues. Okay, that took forever. Exams are going to be 2 sections. The first section is going to be 25 questions, multiple choice, and overwhelmingly the majority is going to come from those quizzes, which is why we give you the answer keys so you can study. Because we do multiple versions of the quizzes and multiple versions of the test, your test version could have all of the multiple choice questions from the versions of the quizzes that you didn't take. So we will make sure that you have the answer keys for all quiz versions, which means that you'll be responsible for studying way more. And I'm not sorry about it. If people wouldn't cheat, then we wouldn't have to do that. But it is what it is. The other section of the exam are essay responses, and that's just kind of saying like you're going to write. It doesn't mean you have to write like a 10-paragraph essay unless you feel so inclined. I'd rather you didn't.
Yeah, because we have to read and grade them.
Yeah, and you're having to type it into Google Forms, and that gets tedious. So,
but on the flip side, half
two
of
sentences.
you're being generous. I was going to say half of a run-on sentence is not an essay either.
No. And we're using the word essay as in like a cohesive, complete response to address the needs of the prompt. So depending on the prompt, it could be you could do it in 2 paragraphs. Cool. And I'm using the word paragraph loosely. I'm not expecting like 12 sentences or whatever. And you're going to respond to the prompts. You're not allowed at all in any way, shape, or form to include any outside information that was not provided to you by the instructors. So you're not allowed to go to like bartleby.com or britannica.com or Stanford philosophy articles. No, it's going to be material that we gave you. That also means that you're not supposed to like include quotes from our lectures. Like that's not a thing. You don't include what we said to you. Instead, show us what you know and what you understood from it. And the multiple choice is 25 questions times 4 points each equals 100. And the essay questions are worth 50 points each. So 50 times 2 is 100. That means that each exam is worth 200 points. And there are no mulligans for exams. If you just miss an exam, yeah,
you've missed it.
If you had noticed, though, if you had issues with meeting the deadlines, you're required to contact us ahead of time. Like, so it says there are students traveling for school related activities. You must make arrangements with us prior to the deadline for that exam. That is your responsibility. That is your obligation. It's written everywhere. However, this goes for everybody. If something comes up, again, one of those unexpected situations, if it's weather, if it's whatever, and you're not able to meet the deadline, contact us in advance.
Yeah.
If you're in the middle of taking the exam and your laptop explodes because maybe use your phone and let us know what happened. We've had issues where students' internet, because like I make this joke every time, but there was a kid who ran into Belo, like while parking and hit like a light and like knocked out all the power on campus. And then it was like no one could do their work because there was no internet. So if you encounter one of those situations, you tell us what's happening. We'll try and work with you, but there is no way to start and save an exam and then come back and pick it up. You have to start and finish in one sitting.
And we'll when we get closer to quiz or exam times, we'll get more in depth with that kind of thing. But yeah, there are other stories of things that you'll want to look out for, like making sure you are logged into your own account and not your girlfriend's account.
Yeah, make sure you're logged in. Make sure no one other than you. We don't have a record of you because you're in someone else's account. We don't have to worry about attendance, and you shouldn't have to worry about any sort of situation whenever you're quarantined, unless you, for whatever reason, are quarantining from home. And then we might need to know your situation, especially if you're a commuting student and you live in an area that doesn't have access to good internet, or it's, kind of a precarious situation. Just let us know. There's not really an attendance policy. We mainly base it on, have you been doing the coursework when it's due? If we end up having like 2 online weeks where you have not interacted, not done quizzes, not responded to instructors, then we're going to submit you to the academic dean as being a person who has failed to attend or has stopped attending. So that's just your warning.
Yeah. And also, a quick thing I would say is that, sure, we're not taking attendance. Like, what attendance would there be to take? What I find happens to a lot of students, and then becomes a problem for them, is since there's not something to attend, it can be very easy to ignore that this class even exists. And so some students will wait until it is time to take the quiz, and then be like, all right, now let me go and watch all this material. And then they find themselves with hours of material on their hands trying to absorb it all right before taking a quiz or an exam. Don't put yourself in that position. Go ahead and engage with the stuff as it pops up during the times that you have available during your schedule. Don't try to put this all off until the very end when it's time for a quiz and exam.
We offer extra credit. You guys are going to be worried about extra credit. That's fine. We're going to make sure that we communicate whenever these extra credit opportunities arise, and we call them cultural credit. It's a means of enriching your overall experience and knowledge and education and all things related to humanities. So whenever we see an event that is an art exhibit or an event, we're giving you an opportunity to attend. 9 times out of 10, we're making sure that we're communicating free events that are usually happening on campus. But we have on occasion found stuff that was happening in the surrounding community to help students who don't live on campus or maybe commute have access to the same opportunities. So you get an opportunity to attend events, you do something, whether it be signing in on a sign-in sheet, maybe writing a response, whatever, and you can get up to 30 total points, 10 points per event. That's not saying that we're not going to have other events or other things happening that offers extra credit, but this is built into the course. It's called cultural credit. We'll have those pop up whenever they're available. If you end up seeing a 0 in the grade book, keep in mind it's extra credit. It is not hurting anybody. It does nothing to the grade. And I'll explain that in a little bit. Promise. Okay. And also, you see, the class is even larger than what it would normally be, because with it being online, we decided that we would open up the class just a smidgen more. So it's even larger. Just make sure you're paying attention and following along with the course online.
For anybody who may be in this class who took 202 before this one, there's not a creative project this semester. I mentioned that because it was one of the reasons we were willing to bump up our numbers a bit. If we also had to deal with all of those creative project conferences, now I think we would have kept our numbers down. But yeah, so yeah, as long as the event that you're going to could fit into one of these categories, music, theater, art, literature, or film, yeah, those 10 points for a maximum of 30. But as Professor McIntosh said, there'll be things that we'll send out that we're like, here, do this thing, and it'll be worth some extra credit points for you.
We usually try and give you guys ample notice, but sometimes depending on the event, they may forget for whatever reason until like the day of. And then I'll start putting everything in all caps, be like, cultural credit tonight, and like 20 exclamation points. And I create an assignment, or Professor Cole creates an assignment. And not only are you going to receive notice within the stream, you're going to receive notice within like that an assignment has gone live or whatever in Google Classroom, but then you also get email alerts. We are going to drown you in email notifications and notifications in the app or on the website. Why? Because it makes sense. You got tons of other classes, other responsibilities, plus we are in the 3rd semester of a pandemic. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
no,
fourth, geez. We're in the 4th semester of a pandemic, and we're all just trying to like make it, you know? So we get it. We forget stuff all the time. As you can see, we forgot some stuff while we were doing this video. Like, I didn't realize this wasn't working. It's not that we're not intelligent. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there, you'll get tons of notice. There's the way in which we grade, as I explained earlier, like the way that the quizzes work. we average them out, we convert it to a 200-point scale. That's how you get an A, that's how you get a B. This extra credit situation is added to the credit you earn. Notice it doesn't say, notice extra credit is down there at the bottom. I'm using my cursor again.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to use my cursor.
No, you're fine. But it takes me a minute. I'm like, why is mine not doing it? So extra credit comes after.
Yeah.
Whatever credit you earn after we've dropped your lowest quiz score, after we've added up all your final exams, you earned that. That's credit. Then we take whatever extra credit and add it to that credit that you earned, and that'll be the actual grade that's calculated. Yeah. In no way can we communicate that to you in Google Classroom without you guys having just a fit. Google Classroom, for whatever reason, doesn't like extra credit.
Yeah.
So
you'll see the points that you've earned in Google Classroom, but it will have no effect on the grade because we can't make the math work out in Google Classroom.
And we can't just offer. Go ahead, Jason.
I was just saying, you'll see those points. You'll be like, why does my grade still look the same? And that's why.
And we can't, both of us have had like this ethical discussion about it or whatever. We can't in good conscience only award extra credit to the students who like do the credit in Google Classroom, if that makes sense. So what I mean is we could create assignments and only give it to the students who actually attended the event. But then it seems like we're being dishonest, or the way that we felt is it's being dishonest. So we just create the assignment for everybody, the extra credit. And it'll say, if you didn't attend, that's fine. You'll have a 0 entered in there. That means nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
You'll see that has no effect on your grade either.
Yeah, it has no effect on your grade, and it's not a condemnation. We're not like attacking you. I realize 0 as a number on a grade is incredibly intimidating and threatening, and it creates visceral responses. We do this for transparency. We don't want to make it seem as if we're doing anything shady. We don't want to do it to where only some people, because we do know that you guys maybe talk to each other. It would look really weird if some people have a bunch of assignments with grades, and because you didn't attend those events, you don't have those assignments even showing up. Yeah. It would seem weird. So we try and make it to where Google Classroom's gradebook is our way of communicating to you that we are keeping track of the work that you are doing in the course. We are communicating to you what the grades you earned, what credit you've earned is, including extra credit. But we do not use Google Classroom to figure out your actual grade. We have a spreadsheet. It keeps track of everything. This is just our way of kind of like returning work to you. Okay. It's just our way of helping you keep track of your progress. And it's our way of communicating like we're behind a little bit. We haven't graded some stuff. Okay, or we have graded stuff, you just forgot that we did, because it gives you a timestamp of when we enter in the grade and return it. We leave comments, we do stuff because we believe that's important in an online environment for you guys to have that communication with us. But again, Google Classroom doesn't drop the lowest quiz. So some of you guys are going to get really, really mad whenever you have like 2 zeros and it seems like it's really killing your grade. Technically, in the spreadsheet, you only have 1 0 because the other one got dropped. You can't get any lower than a 0. Anything regarding disabilities, any sort of accommodations relating to disabilities, we just wanted to make sure that we highlighted to you the university policy as well as the disability services number, so that way you can get that process started. With it being an online class, we pretty much meet all the accommodations. In fact, I changed my my methodology a smidgen last year and started including audio files of my video lecture because some students appreciated being able to download the MP3 and listen to my lecture while they were working. So that's something that I'm going to do again. I have been working, and I know Cole has been working on ways in which we can make sure that our visual material is as inclusive as possible for people who may have issues relating to their vision. It's problematic within Google Classroom though to meet some of those things, but for the most part, nothing in this class doesn't meet people's accommodations. We provide information ahead of time. We give it to you in different mediums. We have open-ended, unlimited testing times and quizzing times. The only deadline is you have to have it done by a certain time. So if you feel that you need accommodations, we support you. Make sure you contact that body at that phone number.
As well as, I will just read this statement verbatim so that I don't miscommunicate it in any way. Bethel University is committed to and cares about students. Support services are available for any person at Bethel University who is experiencing feelings of being overwhelmed, hopelessness, depression, thinking about dying by suicide, or is otherwise in need of assistance. For immediate help, contact the National Suicide Lifeline number at, there's the number, or a number for you to text. Students and employees on McKenzie or Paris campuses can also contact Bethel Safety and Security Office at the following number, or the mobile crisis number at this following number. Counseling is available on campus to College of Arts and Sciences and College of Human Services students through Bethel University's Department of Clinical Services at this number. Emergency numbers 911 should be contacted in the event of an emergency. And we are absolutely fully aware of what a bombshell the past year and a half have been to emotional and mental health. And it can feel like you're the only one going through that, or that that's something you need to tamper down and put away and hide away and just sort of forge forward. But I highly encourage you, if you're feeling any of these, to reach out to those services that are provided, either through the school, the National Suicide Lifeline number. My wife happens to work very closely with them. I know that they are a great group of people. And you can reach out and you will not be judged whatsoever. So yeah, all of that is there at the very end of the syllabus, so that if you don't have to try to pause this video and write those things down, go find the syllabus and get that information.
One other thing is the number down here where it's for the clinical services. If you're an enrolled student at Bethel University, you have free.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to finish my sentence. You have access to a therapist, you have a counselor that's provided to you free of charge. It's part of your money that you spend to attend. It is a service that we provide. If you feel as if you need, we're not going to judge you either way. We want to make sure that we highlight that number, Ms. LaJodia Bell, that's how you would get in contact with her. Just one real quick thing, which is kind of an unfortunate state of affairs, but we need to make sure that we communicate this to you. I am all for dark humor. I very much enjoy dark humor. I make regular jokes with relationship to like unaliving myself, mainly as just a snarky way of coping with my situation. If we're interacting with you, whether it be a study session, because we do offer those for exams or something, and you make some kind of similar, remark or whatever, we are tasked, unfortunately, with kind of probing into your mind a little bit to see if that's just a genuine, like, hey, I've had such a rough day, I just want to jump off a cliff. Okay, cool. Are you actually feeling like you want to kill yourself? And we have to be kind of blunt, like, do you really want to kill yourself? And the reason why is we're obligated to report that.
Yeah.
It's not a judgment if you're being funny, okay? And if you're just doing like me, and that's what kind of humor you have. Do not feel as if we are judging you, because we are probably the least judgmental people that you will meet. It's just one of those things where they've changed laws and legislation, and we're required to at least check to see if that's one of those things. And do not be alarmed if you put something in writing or something and you're like, God, this is just horrible. Like so-and-so killed himself, and I can totally relate because that seems like a good time. if we then have to contact people on campus and say so-and-so made an utterance. And the reason why is they're taking suicide very seriously, not just on our campus, but nationwide, because there's a lot of stuff happening. And unfortunately, one of the ways in which someone who is considering suicide communicates that they're in a place where they're considering this option is they do have a tendency to kind of make that announcement. It's hard to tell whether someone's being humorous or someone's making a genuine outcry.
Yeah, because I have had to make reports myself where even in making the report, I said, I feel fairly certain that this student said this
As a joke.
As a joke. They meant it to be funny or flippant or an exaggeration. But I know that it's my place to report no matter what I may personally think about the situation. So yeah, that was a good point. I didn't think to bring that up.
So don't feel as if we're turning our backs on you or making judgments on you or that we're condemning you in any way. We're just required under the legislation to report that to appropriate bodies. If it happens in our person, like if it happens whenever we're interacting with you and you say it, then you're going to hear the really terse response where it's like, are you sure? Do you actually want to kill yourself? And you're gonna be like, why the hell are you asking me that? It's because that's part of this like prompted thing in our training that we're required to ask. Because then depending on the way that you actually respond to that, then that's where we take it to the next levels of reporting or whatever. Okay, this video is hella long. Okay, it's hella long. We know that this is the longest video you will ever get from us. I can say that safely and certainly. I only have a few more things to add, and then I swear to God, we're done. Okay, promise. We went over the syllabus. It's a lot. Make sure you review it. It literally took us over an hour to do a 4-page syllabus, and I get it. Honest. By the way, if you are not aware, you could pause these and come back to them at any time. You can also speed them up. Like, I don't know if you're aware, but you can.
Let's tell you this at the end of the video.
Yeah, and I'm just saying. I just have a couple things I wanted to add, and we'll go from there. So Professor Cole had pointed out within his view of the classwork where he had pulled up the whole scene of the class, and as you notice, we've got the whole class built, right? Like, we're not joking. Like, we're on this. We're good. We know what we're doing. But I'm going to actually
yourself when you log in are not going to be able to see all that yet.
Yeah, it's only going to pop up stuff within the published material of the class. So I just clicked where it said published material to kind of limit my view or whatever. I want to point out just 2 things. Okay, promise. So we talked about the required textbook info, so I can get rid of that tab. We talked about the literature textbook right there. The course syllabus is here. These are all going to go live for you Monday at 8 a.m. But there's this handy dandy thing when you click on it. It's called facts. And we have based this document solely on the amount of emails that we get from students in the past. So I should say have gotten from students in the past about stuff that we just covered in this epic saga of an introduction video that we've also covered in the syllabus that we just went over in this video. So
nonetheless, these are questions that are asked frequently.
And that's okay, because sometimes you need something explained to you in different ways before you get it, and I support it. So we have this document here that's called English 201 Facts, okay? And it just says :Mac, okay? And it says literally commonly asked questions. And by commonly, I mean like ad nauseum, which is a nice Latin phrase for to the point of throwing up. Okay. Use that at some point in your life today. Ad nauseum. Like, Mom, you're bugging me ad nauseum. And then you just sound really educated. And it's going to go like either she's really impressed with what you said. She's going to completely ignore what you just said because she has no idea what you said. Or she's going to think you're sassing and you might get slapped. I want to know how that goes. Anyway, what am I supposed to know about how the course is set up? Well, guess what? That thing that we said earlier, right there, begins at 8 in the morning, ends at 11 p.m. Okay. Required readings. We're going to put them all to you in Google Classroom. We'll tell you in one post, it'll say weekly readings. And it'll have an explanation of what you're required to read from the textbook that you're required to purchase. It will have information about what you're supposed to read from the literature textbook that we provided. And it'll also include the PDFs of our lectures, the videos of our lectures, the audio files of our lectures, and any other supplemental resources. And that goes live. You'll get that every Monday at 8. Cool. If you have no quizzes, exams, or extra credit work to do, guess what? You only got to do the readings and watch the stuff that we give you. You're welcome. All right, cool. What about when there's a quiz? Well, we explain that right there. It's a lot, but read it. I missed a quiz. Now what? Guess what? We explain it again in another method. Okay, but what about my exams? Guess what? There. And we explain it. We make it a point to tell you quizzes will always go live for you Thursday at 11, or excuse me, Thursday at noon. Right there. 12p noon. There it is. I told you. 12p noon. Exams are going to go live Wednesdays at 12p noon. You don't have to take it Wednesday at 12. You can take it Thursday or Friday or whenever you want, whatever floats your feather. I support you. Just make sure that you have it done by the deadline. All right. I missed like a quiz or I missed an exam. What do? Nothing. There's nothing that we can do to help you. Just kidding. Read through this. All right. What's happening with my grade, man? Well, we already explained how Google Classroom doesn't work, particularly with the quizzes. This whole slide is focusing on how quizzes are just a mess. Read it. What's happening with my grade with extra credit? We did explain that, promise. But guess what? Maybe you checked out. Maybe the video got weird. I don't know. I explained it. It's the last thing. Read this document. Read it before you contact us and ask us one of these commonly asked questions, because you know what my response is going to be. Do you know what that? Do you know what Cole's response is going to be? You should read out the English 201 facts. We're not doing it to be snarky. It's just sometimes I can do it no more.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum.
There are at this point, I think 73 of you. Yeah. We can answering these over and over and over and over. And even the occasions will occur. And again, I don't want it to seem like I'm being judgy at all, but there'll be those times when I've gotten a lot of questions, a lot of the same question from a multitude of people, and we'll think, well, you know what, let's go ahead and make a post about this specific thing so that everybody can see it at once. We'll do that and then get an email asking that very question again.
One last thing that we do, the last thing I wanted to point out is every week you'll get a funny video from us. It's what we call the weekly wrap up. And it is a fun time, an embarrassing time, a joyful, laughable time where we remind students as the week is about to end that here's what you're expected to have done this week, which means that we're going to remind you about the quizzes again, even though it's showing up in Google Classroom, even though you got the alert, even though maybe we said it on the syllabus and in that facts document I just showed. We're going to remind you like, hey, quiz such and such is going to be due. Make sure you do it by no later than August, whatever, September by 11. And we're going to do that every single time. We will also.
I was going to say, but we never stay on task.
Yes. And the only other thing that I would add to that is in the weekly wrap-up video, we're telling you what's expected of you for as we finish out that week. But then we also preview briefly, and that's where we get in trouble with staying on topic. I'd say 8 out of 10 times it's the previewing that we just whatever. But we'll preview what's expected of you for the upcoming week. So that way you're getting an idea of like what you need to do to finish strong for that week. And maybe we didn't have anything. Maybe there's no quiz. Maybe there's no assignments. Cool, fine, whatever. But then we're going to tell you what's happening in the upcoming week. So you're going to want to make sure you watch those videos. We try to keep them short.
Yes. But we don't stay on task. And students have voiced that that's part of the entertainment for them. Just enjoyment of having the week end with this stupid video of the two of us laughing until we can't breathe.
In case
Or
you couldn't tell, like we actually work well together. Like
Yeah.
we work well together. So the way that we are now is the way that we are all the time, including in person. So
there'll be the video that's like, what the hell was that faculty meeting? Like, what was that all about? Anyway, guys, you have this quiz that's coming up.
Oh, and we like to spill the tea too, by the way. So that sometimes about the faculty meeting, we're like, I don't know why they said this. Before let's give you guys context. Here's what they're saying that they're going to do, and y'all should be upset about it. In case you didn't know, that's who we are. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get a post from us. So in a regular week, you'll have posts that go live for you Monday at 8. Cool. And I want to point out it may be 8 o'clock sharp. Last semester it just would be like 8:02. Even though we'd say it would be 8 o'clock, it just randomly would be like 8:02 sounds good. The quizzes, there were some videos last year where we're like, your quizzes should be live now, and they're like, just kidding, it's like 12:15. I just got the notice. One version sometimes goes live before the second one. We don't really know why. That's an approximation. But then the only other thing that you'll get from us is if there's a quiz, you'll get the notice that the quiz goes live on Thursday. If there's an exam, you'll get a notice that that exam goes live on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we'll have a video. We usually record it on Thursday. So sometimes, depending on how our life works or whatever, you might get the video like published Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. But it may be like Friday because sometimes the internet's wonky or whatever. That's it. That's all I got. It was a lot.
I'm spent. I am
too. I want to hurry up and leave because I want to go get some like food. I like literally have not eaten today. It just occurred to me like I have not fed myself.
I need to clean the house between now and when I go pick up the child. So
what a completely different set of tasks between two grown-ass adults. You're like, I'm gonna be responsible and I'm gonna clean my house and I'm gonna go pick up my child. I'm like, I haven't fed myself.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just one step away from having the Werther's originals in my pocket and
okay.
And screaming at people to get off my lawn. Yeah.
So I'm gonna buy you some suspenders and some sock garters, and I expect you to wear it for like a Halloween costume.
Now I don't. Now the sock garters I don't need. But is it bad?
Are you sure? You just said you're gonna go yell at the whippersnappers on your walk. Lord, we were both talking at the same time. I have no idea what you said.
Yes.
It's fine. Sorry guys. Maybe do this video in spurts, which makes no sense because I'm saying it.
Now we're at the end.
Should have said it at the beginning.
Go back in time and watch this video in small pieces. Yeah.
We'll put it in the content. It's fine. Like, damn, this video is long. Watch it in snippets.
Yeah.
Guys, it was nice meeting you. Feel free to contact us anytime, okay?
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you. We'll see you on Monday.
I don't know. We might run into you at random times, like in the hallway. I won't know if I see you though, because I'm, masking it up or whatever.
Yeah.
There'll be a face.
Off task again, but yeah, I had. I was in. Where was I? Walmart. Where was I? Crap. I was checking out wherever it was, whatever store we were at, and the young woman who was ringing up our order after she got everything bagged up looks at me and she says, "You're Professor Cole, right?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Yeah, you are my student, whatever semester." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need you to give me a name." And she gave me the name. I was like, "Oh, because the online, yeah, we have never actually met." But of course, she has seen us in video.
Many times. I had that. So I do the Walmart grocery pickup because I do not like people.
Mhm.
Like, and because I live in North Jackson, I especially hate people because the North Jackson Walmart or whatever is on Van Drive. And I actually like shop at Kroger, not because I'm a hipster or whatever, but Walmart carries my brand of cheese that I can't find anywhere else. The Kroger by my house used to carry it, and like I will cut a person for cheese. This is very important for me to introduce myself this way. So Walmart, for whatever reason, has started carrying my cheese, so I can do a grocery pickup and like get 6 blocks of my Castello Havarti cheese because that's whatever. And this kid brought my order. So of course I'm ordering a whole bunch of other crap to make that $35 minimum or whatever. Although my cheese is damn near expensive, but whatever. I have adult money, so no. So hey, Professor McIntosh, how's it going? And I was like, I have no idea who you are. So I look and I'm looking like a scrub. My hair is in like a dirty, filthy, messy bun, right? I'm wearing like, just clothes that, pretty much my normal aesthetic, but like I'm not peopling, like I'm not fit to people. I am feral. And so the kid's trying to talk to me and I'm like, huh? He's like, and this was last semester. He's like, I'm in your online class. And he's like, you are? Who are you?
Yeah.
He told me his name and I was like, I'm sorry that you saw me this way. I'm uncomfortable with this whole entire transaction because
And don't judge me for the amount of cheese that you have just.
Yeah, I was like, I don't normally purchase all of this stuff. I just was trying to get to the $35. And it wasn't even embarrassing. It wasn't like anything like that. It was like cheese and Cheetos and like snacks that my kid just had to have. And, just like, just whatever I could pack in there so I could really honestly buy the cheese so I wouldn't interact with people. And every time I do my pickup order, that kid does my groceries. And I'm just sitting here like, I'm so embarrassed that I didn't know who you were. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I felt bad. I don't want to call the student out, but the student was one of our good students.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Well, hello. Nice to put a face.
Hello, person.
Yeah.
I just know you as like a picture, an avatar, and a name, and whatever you're sending me an email. Now I'm going to make sure that I don't look a hot ass mess.
Yeah.
I don't look like a raccoon dumpster pirate. I'm gonna look like just a normal smarmy pirate, I guess. Whatever. That was my story. I'm done.
I think we said bye like 10 minutes ago.
We're doing the Southern thing, man. We live in the South. We're doing all right. It's time to. We're gonna head out.
Now we're all standing by the door, but nobody has walked out the door. Next, we'll walk to the car and we'll all stand at the car and talk.
And now we're about to wave an arm out as we're leaving.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Take it easy.
Bye. All right, take care, everyone. We'll see you next week.